Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another TikTok conspiracy theories video for you guys. We're going to be talking about some scary TikToks, some theories that I've seen on TikTok. You guys send me them all the time, which I really appreciate. So without further ado, let's get into it. Although follow my TikTok. I have a weight loss TikTok, as well as a weight loss YouTube channel that I must start posting on, so go follow me on there. So this is the first TikTok. It has a theory that I have been thinking about and trying to get the words for since I was a kid. Like, I've always thought about this theory, but it's insane. So someone posted the general concept that we would never really die in our perspective. Each time we encounter a situation where we may die, we continue on in a parallel universe where something happens that prevents our death. But we did die in the original universe. Essentially, our consciousness lives on by transferring itself to a parallel universe where we continue to exist, so we effectively live forever. Okay, the reason I've always thought about this theory is because my grandpa passed away when I was like 9 years old, and I was always just like, but what if he's like, thinks that he's alive? Like, I think he was the first person, like the first experience with death that I had ever had. And in my head, I was like, but what if he is continuing on his life, like he doesn't even know that he's dead? Like, it sounds crazy, but I didn't know the concept of like parallel universes obviously at the time. But in my head, I was like, how interesting would it be? In his mind, like, he thinks that he's still alive and his life just continues like normally, but like we're all over here like grieving. And I do think this is a really interesting theory, and it honestly freaks me out. It's just one of those theories that we might never know the answer to. I do think that's like a very interesting concept overall. I don't know if I genuinely believe this theory, but it is something I've been thinking about like for literally as long as I can remember. And I really wouldn't want that to be the case, but it could be. We could already be dead in our original universe, and our families could be grieving us or whatever, and we think that we're still alive because we're continuing on in this universe. It's kind of complex, but it is interesting nonetheless. I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with like the whole life as a simulation theory. All right, the next TikTok user talked about the Wayfair conspiracy theory, and I just had to include it.
The conspiracy behind wayfair. So I remember when this first was going on, a lot of people were all up in the air about it. Some people believed it, some people didn't believe it, and I happen to be one of those people that really didn't believe it. I thought there was no way that this huge corporation would use their website and certain items and certain coupon codes to possibly sex traffic kids. So I really never thought too much into it until one day something happened that actually changed my mind. So this happened about a year ago. So I work for a pretty well-known bank, and I remember we would always have this older lady come in, and anytime she came in, she would always do a cash deposit and immediately do a wire transfer. So one day I got a chance to help her, and I remember she did the cash deposit, which was like $13,000, all in cash, and immediately wanted to do a wire transfer. So when I started to help her, I remember the account number was written down on like a small piece of paper and the amount. So she was sending about $12,900 and like whatever cents to this account number. So I got to the part where I needed to type in who it was going to, and she told me it was going to Wayfair. And at first I really didn't think too much into it because she did have a business account, and I figured, well, maybe she's buying new furniture for her office or whatever. So after we were done, I started to go through her previous wire transactions just to see where all these other wires were going that she did prior. And they were all going to Wayfair. There was like 6 or 7 different wires that she was doing in the past like 60 days. And that's when I changed my mind. I knew that there was no way that this person that is always doing cash deposits and immediately doing a wire transfer afterwards to Wayfair, sending them thousands of dollars in 2 months, was buying furniture. There was no way. And I remember shortly after I reported the account just for like secondary review or whatever. And next thing I know, she never comes in again. I never see her again, ever.
So I think this is really interesting because I did talk about the Wayfair conspiracy theory, and I never really believed it. Like, it just felt like it didn't make sense. Even though it did make sense, like I just was still like skeptical about it, as I am with a lot of theories, honestly. I was quite skeptical. And in this specific instance, I can't think of an explanation for this man's experience. Obviously, he could be lying. You could always say that about anybody on the internet. If this Wayfair conspiracy theory is true, because at first I thought it was like kind of like a hoax, or, you know, people could list things on the Wayfair on their own and they were kind of doing this on purpose. but it is a really, really, really dark and weird concept overall. I don't even want to go too much into the theory because it honestly freaks me out too much, but I thought this specific person's TikTok was very interesting and a lot of you guys tagged me in it. So this next TikTok user goes on to talk about the ocean.
No matter how old you are, they have always told us we only explore 5% of the ocean. That's not true. But it's not that we don't want to explore what's in the ocean or that we don't have the technology. It's because for the majority of the 20th century, all we did was ocean exploration. Because the NACA, aka NASA, which was established in 1915, found things in the ocean that they did not want to return to. But what could it possibly be? Could it be aliens? Could the ocean be another entrance to the hollow earth? Could it be an advanced species? Or could it be dangerous animals that we just do not have enough information on to study? There have been a number of UFO reportings recently, especially around the Pacific Ocean. Here I'm going to show y'all video footage from the USS Omaha that was sitting on the coast of California in the Pacific when it encountered a UFO. In this video, you can see the unidentified object floating over the Pacific Ocean, moments before it plunges underneath.
Was recorded inside the Omaha's command center just before 11 p.m. on July 15th. The image on the screen shows a 6-foot in diameter sphere that traveled alongside the Omaha for about an hour. It was pitch black outside, so the image was obtained via a thermal sensor. Personnel in the command center made multiple recordings of what was on the screen. At precisely 11 p.m., the unidentified sphere seemingly vanished into the ocean.
Yeah, y'all see how crazy that is? That's not even the worst part. Right after the situation with the first UFO, 14 more UFOs over the course of 3 days were found on a radar surrounding the USS Omaha.
This is a theory that I always talk about. I always find it so interesting because I say literally anything could be under that ocean. This TikTok user has a theory that perhaps there are aliens underwater. I find this to be really interesting. As much as I think the government probably knows more about aliens than they lead on, I don't think they know everything. Otherwise, I think we would know more. And as for ocean exploration, that has always freaked me out because I'm like, why are we going to outer space? 0% desire to go to outer space ever. I would never want to be an astronaut. Not that anyone's offering me the gig, but you would not catch me on a rocket. Like, I just am not gonna do that. However, I'd be going in the ocean. And the ocean is so unexplored. I would just love for them to just figure it out. What the hell is in there? It's so deep with depths. That's why I always think people who don't believe in mermaids are just a little bit stupid, because there's definitely some type of creature down there. Next conspiracy theories revolve around the royal family. Obviously, with Queen Elizabeth's passing, there has been so many theories blowing up all over TikTok about various different aspects of the royal family. I would say the main one that I've been seeing is talking about Princess Diana and the Queen and her potential involvement with Diana's death. I personally don't think that the Queen herself had anything to do with anything, but maybe she is aware of it, but like, what is she supposed to do? I don't know. Her relationship with Diana was pretty good overall. Diana said that she was like the best mother-in-law ever, and I never thought that like the Queen herself specifically had anything to do with Diana passing away, but I did believe that perhaps, allegedly, perhaps the British government as a whole had something to do with it, and I think most people believe this. A lot of people have been making TikToks about it, so I guess people do. Essentially, the way that Prince Harry talks about it is very interesting, and he talks about how that's like why him and Meghan had left the royal family was because the reason his mother was killed was because she was dating someone who was not white, and the royal family did not want anything to do with that.
History was repeating itself. My mother was chased to her death while she was in a relationship with someone that wasn't white. And now look what's happened. You want to talk about history repeating itself? They're not going to stop until she dies.
Meghan and Prince Harry have both said that the Queen had nothing to do with any of this, so I just think that's an interesting point to talk about. But I did find the TikTok interesting when Harry was talking about why he thinks his mother was killed. Because yes, the paparazzi had something to do with that as well. I also think that the times that are about to come from the Queen dying, and so many things about the royal family are probably going to come out and come to the surface of things that perhaps she was waiting for her death to let into the world. I do think that that's a possibility. A lot of family secrets, just basically airing the dirty laundry that, you know, they maybe didn't want their mother or grandmother to know, or to have to deal with the public humiliation of it being public. So I think that there's going to be a lot to come from the Queen's passing that has to do with the royal family and conspiracy theories that we've probably all been talking about for years. Maybe we will have some answers to. Do I think we'll ever get answers to Princess Diana? No. However, people on TikTok do think that we're going to, because the Queen wrote a letter. It will be locked in a vault until 2085. She wrote this letter in 1986. Obviously before Diana died, so I don't know why so many people believe that that's gonna be part of it, but who knows. Basically, it's a letter to the people of Sydney, Australia. So I think a lot of people are putting a lot of weight on this letter, thinking it's gonna have the royal family's darkest secrets. I don't think that's true. I think it's just gonna be like, hey, like, we love you, Australia, XOXO, Queen of England. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, but maybe that's just me. I do feel as though, like, obviously, as an American, I can't imagine like what this is quite like for the people in the UK, but I do feel as though like unprecedented times are coming, because this is obviously, it's been 70 years since there was a transfer of power to a queen or king in the British monarchy, and 70 years is a long time. A lot has happened, a lot has changed in the world with technology, social media, everything. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next, because like I said, these are unprecedented times. Like, we have never experienced this for as long as you've been alive, for as long as probably your parents have been alive. Queen Elizabeth has always been the queen, and I do think that that's like really weird, and I'm interested to see what will happen now. Obviously, like, so much has changed. Like, the UK's whole national national anthem, why did I call it a theme song? The UK's whole national anthem has changed to God Save the King. Their passports will change, money will change, like literally so much is changing, and it's just like, that would really freak me out. I guess because we're not used to that here in America, because we get a new president every 4 to 8 years. It's really, really weird. But it has got me thinking conspiracy theory wise as to what's going to happen next. And I think that there is going to be a lot of information about the royal family, specifically about Queen Elizabeth's children, that is going to come out in the future. Obviously, there was a lot of stuff already with Prince Andrew, but I think that now that the Queen's dead, a lot more is going to come out, especially because him and King Charles do not get along. Kind of known that that's a thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes from the Queen passing away, in the sense of what was going to come out about the royal family, that they were waiting for the Queen to pass away before publicly announcing this information. I don't know, but I do think it's a very, very interesting theory, and I would love to hear you guys' conspiracy theories of what you think is going to happen next. But that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these conspiracy theories. I would love to know, and if you have any other TikTok theories, go ahead and tag me on TikTok. That's it for today's video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, because I'm always posting really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye!